All right, good morning. Nope, afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna wait for just a second to make sure that it's working. Send a little tweet. And okay, looks like YouTube is good. Check. And Twitch is good. Check. Okay, we're good to go. All right, welcome back to Transformersville is where we are today. And I believe, let me actually get back into my kernel that I was working with previously. I believe we'd gotten to the point where our, what would you call it? The thing gum, you know, the data. Whew, the data was loading correctly, and we actually figured out that there was a there we go. We actually figured out that there was a problem with one of the data files where it had one empty line. So somebody actually, last time there was an unfortunate thing where my computer crashed in the middle of it, which hopefully won't happen today. I've taken some steps to avoid that. But what had happened was that while it was crashed, somebody, and I forget who it was, it might have been Eric, went through and did binary search through the data to find the single line that was missing. So real MVP. And you can go back and watch the last week was actually ended up being 2 videos on account of the crash. So I believe that our data is working. We loaded it in. We removed some line comments. This is from Ryan Chesler, Kaggle user Rachael. He helped us out with that. MF says hi, and Ilya says hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And then we found the lines that were different. So in the old Bible, the King James Version, this is a blank line, and in the new Bible, it is a line. So we removed it, and then when we looked at our code, we saw that we had the same number of things in both of them. Rows, that's the word I'm looking for. Ooh, this bodes well, huh? I had my normal amount of coffee today, so I'm not sure why I'm feeling a little bit out of it, but I guess we'll find out. And then we got to the point where we tried to actually train the model, and it blew up fairly spectacularly, if I remember. So let's try this out. And this is if you're on YouTube, the repo for this that we're using code for is in the description of the video. And if you are on Twitch, I will actually copy paste it right now into the chat just so you have that at your fingertips if you're interested in poking along. So the very first video that we did, we spent quite a bit of time poking around on GitHub trying to find a example repo that did what we wanted to do, and this seemed to be the best fit for us. And the one that we'd need to do the least fiddling with. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we are gonna have to do some fiddling. So I'm gonna start by trying to run it and see what error message I get. And then I'm gonna go through the, yeah, all right, so we get an error message. RollinU32 on Twitch says that was transforming the data to get it prepped for the model, right? Yeah, so far everything we've done has been getting data cleaning, data preparation, and now we're having trouble with the model itself. And actually I'm gonna run and turn off a fan really quick because I heard it turn on, and I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it, and it's driving me bonkers. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot to do my fan check before I started. All right, so our problem that we are getting here is Right. Okay, so the problem is that there is data that we are missing that the model assumes that we have. Larson966 said, are you writing code in Python? Yes, this is Python. More specifically, we're going to be using TensorFlow. And Ryan says, we have lots of issues to resolve, crying face. I would say the first one is to create a vocabulary list using prepro.py file, so the preprocessing file. The one built into the repo is German/English. Yeah, I'm getting that impression. And so this DE, I keep saying Dutch, it's the ISO language code for German. I just always get it bad because letters are hard. So these are so these are actually pointing to the hyperparameter source train and target train files, which I believe we specified in the hyperparameter class. Scrolling up. Yeah, so we can see that source train and target train are specified here. The difference is these originally pointed to specific files, and now we have objects that are already in memory rather than objects that are stored in our file system. So we may have to change the pointers to those, or I suppose we could save it to memory, save it out of memory to the disk, and then read it back in. That might start to help. The answer to life says, oh, I just discovered your videos yesterday through your burnt paper walkthrough. Just love your chilled out approach. Why, thank you. I can make the best argument to my bosses that I should keep doing this if I don't have to spend a bunch of time prepping for it. So I try not to make it like super stressful for anybody involved. Okay. So, codex.open hp.sourcetrain read UTF-8. So the first error that we're getting is because we are pointing it towards something in memory and not a file. Anarchy on Twitch says hello. Hello, Anarchy. Thanks for joining. Okay, so the simplest solution for this would be to save these out as files and then point it to that. And that's, so it's just, that would resolve these syntax errors. So I might try that. There is a problem that train tags.den.te. Okay, and there's a second problem, which is in the built-ins class, I'm assuming. There is a pointer to this file that we don't have, which is the tags. And I think that this is what Ryan was talking about that's in the preprocessing file. So let's look through the files that we have in this repo. And if you're wondering how I got the files on GitHub onto Kaggle, they're actually uploaded as a data set. We recently added a functionality connector. That's what I'm looking for. A connector that allows you to import GitHub files into Kaggle. And I'm running an event next week about pipelines. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. If you're interested, you're welcome to join for that. Okay, so built-ins. I don't know where built-ins is. I'm guessing that it's probably in this preprocess file. It might also be in this data load file. Because hyperparameters.py was originally a file that we did download, but all of the specifications for that class we've actually moved, we just copied and pasted out of the data set, the transformer code, and we copied and pasted it into our notebook to manipulate it a little bit more easily. Christopher Peter says, this is so cool. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Ooh. All right. Ryan says on Twitch, originally it was reading the file, then it did this big long process to pre-process it and format the text into a list of sentences. We already have the stuff in the correct format. We just need to get rid of that section somehow. Not sure the best way to edit the stuff from the GitHub within the kernel. So we don't have editing rights to this GitHub. One thing I could do, am I signed in? One thing I could do is I could fork it and then edit it, and then, well, the problem with editing the code is that I'd have to open another program to do that, and right now I'm just focusing on my browser. And I don't know of any like good browser-based Python coding environments that let you push to GitHub, and I don't necessarily want to spend the time setting that up. So I'm probably going to copy and paste the code that I want into the notebook. I don't know. It's gonna be a little bit funky. The Answer to Life says, "Damn it! I would have loved to carry on watching, but it's midnight in the UK, and I'm doing a 24-hour hackathon this weekend, so gotta go get some sleep. Good night, everyone. Good night, The Answer to Life." Yeah, sleep is important. These are recorded. You can always come back if you're interested. Yes, we might do a combination of running things in a kernel and also running things from the scripts in the dataset. It's going to be hacky. This is going to be hacky. I'm just warning you guys now. This isn't going to be the most beautiful workflow. And we definitely know that right now we don't have the best workflow on Kaggle for using utility scripts, and it is something that I personally consider important to improve. So I'm making no promises, but I know it's painful. All right, so let's check out this pre-processing. We might be able to just get around it entirely. All right, so first we're importing a bunch of things. It looks like we're not using any. I'm not familiar with codecs, but the rest of it doesn't look to be particularly NLP specific. Christopher Peter says, GitHub editor? Haha, push it to the limit. The likelihood that I can write syntactically correct Python in the GitHub editor is extremely low, but thank you for your vote of confidence. And Anarchy on Twitch says, I'm a hacky solutions enthusiast. Good. I'm glad that you're not looking for the world's most elegant solutions, because we're not getting there today for sure. All right, so this constructs a vocabulary. It needs a file path, codex.open. So I don't know what this codex library does. Let's check that really quickly. Python codex library. Oop, nope, that's not what I wanted. I clicked too soon. Useful modules, blah, 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 code. Actually, it might be faster just to codex. Try to open it from in R. In Jupyter, not in R. Module, Python codec registry, built-in syst, the imports, registry and built-in stateless codec function. Constants, byte order mark. Okay. Oh, I'm wondering if this is this Python 2 or Python 3? Okay. Noted. So what it looks like the codex library is doing is that it is providing the ability to handle UTF text strings, which makes sense for German because you've got a lot of like umlauts and nonsense. Oh, this is going to be much more work than I thought at first. Yeah, this is the first time that I'm really like, man, I wish that I had my full Linux work environment, because I'm on Windows right now and usually I'm working on Linux, and this is the point in which I would start to do more bash scripting. Roland Yu says, RIP, you should have guessed since it was from June 17. Oops. Yeah, it does have a lot of stars. Ryan says, maybe we unroll our text and insert the reverse of their preprocessing and then save to file. That'd be easiest if we were doing only kernel work. All Codex is reading the file though. Yeah, because we were in Python 3, this is actually a much easier problem. I had a sort of like the reason that I was suspicious is because it specified the byte order marker for UTF-8, and in Python 3 the code is in UTF-8, so I believe it is a built-in in Python 3 and not something you would need to import. Well, noted. Okay, let's keep reading through this code and figuring out what it does, and then we'll get back to it. Oh, it's one tiny function. This is like 40 lines. Okay, I feel much more confident now. Christopher says, a Pythonic existential moment. Am I using 2 or 3? Hopefully 3. That's always my wish. All I want for Christmas is just not to have to use Python 2. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to, well, we may not have to edit this, but we may want to, instead of using this codex, which might open it as a UTF. So when Python 2 was launched, it didn't have support for UTF at all, so they added a new data type, and I am hoping that the rest of this code does not rely on having that type and will instead just take like regular strings. But I guess we'll find out. Okay, and then we are just splitting on spaces. This will not work for languages that don't have spaces between words, so good to know there, sort of little Anglocentrism built in. And then we're doing some replacement, and we are moving everything but spaces, punctuation, and Latin characters. And then we're replacing them with nothing. So is that correct? Right? Caret is what's it called? There's like a regex translator I really like that I can never remember the translator. The thing for, and I think that that's what that is. Okay, negated set, match any character that is not in that set. All right, any white space matches the P character. That can't be right. That can't, I thought for sure that was the punctuation shortcut. And then that's not right. This should be, oh wait, or does this match the exact string Latin? Escape character matches the P character. So I thought that this, one sec, let's make sure that we're, I don't think that this is going to be using the same regex engines. I don't know what PCRE is, but it might be better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, match any character in the Latin Unicode script. So, oh, I see. So it is removing non-Latin characters, and white. So it's removing anything that's not white space, Latin characters, or the apostrophe. So it's getting rid of punctuation, it's getting rid of, because there's German in here, probably also some other characters. Okay, so a little transformation. We shouldn't have any problem because we're working with English. Ryan says, on Twitch, Codex works in Python 3 for me, doesn't seem to cause any errors. Okay. I'm not super worried about reading in the file to Python. I am more worried that we might have like weird type mismatches in the depths of TensorFlow. But we'll see. And I think the TensorFlow dev team is smart and does tests and probably thought about that at some point, so hopefully it just won't be a problem. All right, and then we create a counter across all of our words. And then, okay. So we can, it looks like we can get around this by making a path, by making a file and calling it preprocessed, because this will only do the pre-processing if it doesn't, so it will only save the pre-processing if it doesn't exist. Christopher says on YouTube, it'd be cool if we could reliably regex by highlighting text. That would be nice. Yeah, that seems like a hard problem because there's quite a bit of ambiguity in it though. Right? Because if I wanted to write a regex that matched a certain type of text and I highlighted like pre-processed, do I want to match like only things that are inside parentheses? I don't know if that's what you're thinking about. Yeah, I think the trivial way would be to do it with just exact matches, and then that's no more helpful than just like searching. Okay. So Ryan says, this is making the vocab list though. We need this. Okay. Oh, I see. So it's not actually, oh, I see. So it's not actually tokenizing or anything. It's just creating a list of all of the words that we have. What is this? Okay, so it's /D1000. Is that a tab? Oh, is this what F strings used to be? What we used to have instead of X strings? So it has pad, unknown, S/S. So this looks like a tab and then a new line, and this looks like we just have, oh, I see. Okay. So this looks like the count. So it looks like it's giving an artificially high count to these 4 tokens. So this would be the token that pads to the end of a sequence if it's not the same sequence length you're looking for, the unknown token, which is just like add a vocabulary, S, which is, I believe, the beginning of a sentence, and then /S, which is, I believe, the end of a sentence. Okay. Yeah. Christopher says, yeah, totally. Regex is so general and powerful that you're back to regex. Yeah, basically. Yeah, someone recently asked me if I could learn a new programming language, what it would be. And I'm assuming the magical rules where you don't actually have to learn it, you just sort of know it. I'd actually probably learn Perl. Because the things that are fast in R and Python and SQL are generally, the things that are slow in R and Python and SQL are generally pretty fast in Perl. But it seems like a pain in the butt. It seems like just a cantankerous language. All right, and then for word count, in word to count most common, so in our counter of all of the words, how does it know that it has word and count? That most common, length word to count. F out. Oh, I see, that's the file that we're writing to. Okay, so we're just going through and we are counting each of the words and how many times they appear, and we are putting them in a tab separated file. Ryan says, my trick to regex is entering random characters and hitting run until it does what I want. Yeah. I think that tends to be the state of the art. Best practices. Okay, so we do want to do this. Okay, and it's doing this for both the source train and the target train. And my question for myself is, if I have a function and it's defined in a script, and then I have the same function except in my notebook, when I run the notebook and then I call that script, will the function that I already have in memory be the one that it uses? Or will it go to the function in the script and reload it in? Ryan says if you look at the de.vocab.tsv file in the repo, it will make sense. I'm guessing that it's these 4 words at the top and then the most common words in German in their example. Maybe sorted, maybe not sorted. I don't have a really good idea of how... Yes, I do want to see the raw. I don't have a really good idea of how counter works. Yeah, it looks like there is sorted. So die is, oh, it's an article, a determiner. Also, it might be called oh, there's like 3 genders in German. I don't know which one is for. Und and. Oh, that might be, anyway, there's just like some German words. There's the copula. There's a lot of determiners. There's a lot of function words that are very common, which is not surprising. And we can see the very high counts for these words that we want to make sure are highly well represented statistically, even though they are not going to show up in our actual text. All right, let's try that. Let's try rewriting this make vocab function. And the only thing that I want to change is I just want it to have, I just want to pass it the name, and I'm just going to make this fname. Let's see if this gives us different errors. Scroll, 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 scroll. Low train built-ins, file name, corpora.chain tags.dna. Okay, so we still have the problem of not having the train tags, and I don't know what those are, because these are being saved out as the vocab. Okay. Actually, let's just quickly see what's... I can get rid of this. I don't need this right now. Let's just quickly see what's in our current working directory. So we've moved our directory up here into the same directory up at the top as our data set. So we see the things that are in our data set. And I'm trying to remember where the vocab would be stored out, and I think it would be stored in the pre-processed. I don't know why tab complete isn't working. SSED. Okay, and then it has the German and English vocabulary lists, and if I just do... Oh, I can't remember if it's cat or head that does the first top. Christopher on YouTube says, sys call to show what's in the dir from the code might help. What's in the directory from the code? So you mean not in the... Oh, and Roll on U32 says bang current, and I'm assuming that because that has the Jupyter magic in it, it should be up here. Scroll, 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 scroll. No, I just want, can I, no, I have to click in the cell. I just want a new cell. This one's too long. I know there's a, no. I know there's a, bin shell 1 current not found. I forget what I was looking for. I do know that I want us to make sure that we are in the Kaggle working directory, though, at least to begin with. Okay, but the thing that it is looking for is this corpora/train.tag/den.de, and we definitely don't have that. So let's see. Right now we're in the working directory, and if we change directory to the we go up 1, we can see that oh, I went up 2, sorry. I don't know, this is kind of at the bottom of the screen. I hope you guys can see this okay. we can see that we have the config, the input, the lib, and the working. The working directory, /Kaggle/working, is the only directory that we have write access to. Blah, 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 blah. But if we go to input, oh my god, sorry, tab complete isn't working and it's driving me very, very around the bend. And let's go to the TRANSFO. Nope. SFO. A. And if we look in here and we go to the repository, sorry, I only know the first 4 letters of anything because I'm always using tab complete. Then we change directory. Oh no, I have to type this out. Are you kidding me? UBYONG. 6, 6, 7, 2, lowercase f, 9, 3. Gosh darn it. All right, I made a typo. Oh, that should be a B. All right, so you can see that we have no folder corpora in here that it is looking for, this corpora folder. It ain't here, and I believe if we look in our thing that we pulled from, it also isn't there. So, and I and the pre-processing is just making the vocabulary. Yeah, so it doesn't make the train.tags. Ryan says it's trying to load the file with the text in it, but we're passing in a data frame. I think also we can download the data using wget in my kernel. This is the file you are missing. Scroll down on GitHub and there's a command to download the data. Okay. So let's go back to the repo home. If I can remember where it is. Okay. Reading the documentation? I don't know. That seems like a lot of work. Shed says, Rachel just used the star, i.e. CD KY star. What? Is that a thing? No, it's not a thing. I thought it would help. Yeah, it's like it's not a fully featured console. All right, so this is where they're getting this. Oh, I see. So they are, gotcha. They are making a file. Sorry, making a folder. They're downloading this TGZ, and then they are unzipping it and moving it to the file DEN corpora. Surely that's not a space. Oh, that's what they're calling it. Okay, so that's what they're calling the thing that they've downloaded. So that's the name, and then that's where they're moving it to. So they are making the corpora folder. Okay, so we could download it, or the thing that I am noticing is that it is looking for this specific file name here in this corpora folder. So let's see where that code is and see if we can edit that, and that might help. And then we can just move we can save our data frames out into the, in this repo. So we can save our data frames that work out. Okay, so it's under hyperparameters. I thought we edited that. I thought we changed what it was pointing to in our version. Make vocab, I think it was up here. Yeah, we definitely did. So instead of pointing it towards source train, source test, class hyperparameters. Okay, so this answers the question that I had previously, which is if we have a class that we are calling in, that we are creating in our notebook, and then we call a script that also defines, that's the word I'm looking for, that defines that class, the one in the script is going to overwrite the one that we previously did. So it just sort of like, that makes sense. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't. If you create a variable with the same name as a second variable, you make the new variable stuff is in that. So what's the best way to go about this? I'm wondering if the best way to go about this might actually be to see. Okay, sorry, I'm scrolling down. So where HP, and where is that called? Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm thinking be sinusoid. So all right, so I can just replace that HP with hyperparameters, which is going to tell it to look at oh, actually, I think the thing that would actually be easiest is to say that let's see if this works. I'm looking for them different error messages. All right. This is a different line. I am pleased. Okay. So now I was looking for the pre-processed data, and if we yeah, okay, so the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to find out where our pre-processed data is, if we have already done it. I didn't read this through super closely and see if this was calling the pre-processing in here. Let's see. No, it looks like we're gonna have to run that ourselves next. Larson 0966 says, how hard would it be to create the second variable with a new name? I don't think it would be that hard. I'm just thinking that if we do it this way, actually, I think even better would be even better would be this, so it's clear that this is what we're replacing. Pre-processing. So where is it loading in the pre-processing from? No such pre-process file built-ins. Okay, so this is actually happening in data_load.py. So where is that happening? Did we import that, or is that? Yes, it is. Okay, so what we can do is we can look at these function, load German vocabulary, load English vocabulary, and rewrite them a little bit. Yes, it's all coming together. I think it. As I'm sort of working through this and getting different error messages, which is always exciting and good, I'm building a better mental model of what's going on in this code and what's interacting with somebody else. And there's this author did, you know, a very good job of making sure that their code was compartmentalized and split into different thingadoogles, which I very much appreciate. But so we have this make vocabulary function. My wondering is if we can use the same vocabulary for both of them, actually, because they're both English. Yeah, I might just make a single vocabulary. So the things that we need to do are, we need to, well, let me give myself some to-do. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. I got a lot to think about. To do, rewrite, load, vocab functions to work with our, what would you call that? File system? Yeah, okay, and so the hyperparameters was a custom function, data load was a custom function, modules I don't think was, I think that's a Python built-in. Nope, I was wrong, it definitely is. We may not need to mess with these though. I'm just gonna quickly go through and see if any of these are specifically determined by, like, if any of these are like hard-coded calling other, basically, I'm sorry, I'm going through and I'm looking at this code to see if it has anything that's going to break if we give it a file of a different shape or ask it to do excuse me, or if it calls the file by name, or if there's any relative paths in here. And it looks like it's not. It looks like it's just the so here's the masking part. It looks like that this is the code that is actually specifying the model itself. Activation. Okay, so this is for the final layer of the decoder. Oh, sorry. So this is for the first layer of the decoder. Dropout, and then these are the feed forward models ahead of it. Okay, so this is sort of the meat of the code, and it looks like, all right, okay, so it looks like all of this we should be good. So I don't think, fingers crossed, we need to edit this. The place where we could run into a lot of trouble is if there are differences with TensorFlow between Python 2 and Python 3, and I've never used TensorFlow with Python 2 before, and also Kaggle does not use Python 2. We only use Python 3 in kernels. So if there are problems there, that's going to be its own problem. But that we can kick that can a little bit. This is the meat of the transformer code. Hopefully can just use as is. Okay, so we need to do the make vocab step on our own, and then we need to load in the vocab and figure out how to get that to actually work good. And it is possible. Boop. All right. Okay. So this is just IDX D. Okay. I don't know what two things it's loading in, so I'm gonna have to go and take a little pee-poo at that. If those are pre-trained embeddings, this might be a little bit more, if this is just like the count and then the word, that's fine. If it is a pre-trained embedding, it's going to be a little bit more involved for us, but there is embedding training in the model itself, so that should work. All right, getting into it. This is really fun. Sorry, I was just like, oh, I'm enjoying this. I'm trying to be better about like noticing when I'm actually enjoying things, and this is fun. I feel like the data preparation was just like such a slog, and thank you for helping me out with that, guys, but it was rough. Also, I am absolutely not using the sinusoidal embeddings. I'm sure it's extremely clever, but I don't know that there are empirical advantages to using it besides the fact that it's extremely clever. Well, no, I guess that's not true. I guess you can have sequences of an arbitrarily long length, but I don't think we have sequences of an arbitrarily long length because we're only looking at Bible verses, and there's a max size that a Bible verse is. I'm assuming Bible verses aren't like thousands of words long. I don't know. I don't know that much about the Bible. Okay, so we need to make our vocab. And so we're going to need to, I don't think we actually need the file path. So I was not removing this from in the beginning because I was thinking that it was going to be called when we were specifying our model, but I don't think it is. I think that our model at the stage of model specification, it assumes that we already have the vocabulary, which I think is what Ryan has been very patiently trying to tell me for the past 20 minutes. But I don't know, sometimes you just gotta figure things out for yourself and tidy your own mental house. So this should be good, except we want to make sure that it is in the Kaggle/working directory. So we don't have write privileges in our input directory, which makes sense because we don't want people to be able to just like edit data sets by loading them into their kernels and changing them on disk. And that would obviously be a huge problem for competitions, but also just sort of like not good in general. So, and I'm actually going to call it text instead. Excuse me, goodness. And I'm going to take this out bit where it, take that bit out where it has its name. Except I should actually probably have the variable names the same in both places, huh? Larson says, Esther 8 verse is the longest verse of King James Version in English and at 90 words. Thank you. That's extremely helpful. Great. So we don't need anything longer than 90 words in terms of our maximum length of input string. Weston says, sorry, Esther 8 verse 9. Excuse me. One sec, I'm gonna grab a tissue real quick. Sorry about that, sneezy. Larson says, I can't spell. Neither can I, you're in good company. Okay. So, and then we want to pass it. Oh, wait. I think I know where the file name thing came in. Yeah, okay, so the file name was the name of the file that we wanted to call it. And then, yep, text. So our files were called old bib, clean, and new bib. So let's give this a try. Well, first let's try, nope, that's the hyperparameters. Let's try reading in the function, making sure I didn't bork it completely, although it'll only really fail on a syntax error. It won't necessarily tell you that you have errors until you try to run it. And so then let's try to make vocab, and then we want our file name to be old Bible. Old Bible. And then our, I think it was just called Old Bible. Yep. Oh, yeah, no, we want the cleaned version. Do I need to specify that that's text? Do you need to specify all your arguments? Name counter is not defined. Okay. Oh, I need to do my imports. Larson says sorry again. Esther 8 verse 9. All right, guys, there's your trivia. Esther 8 verse 9 is the longest verse in the King James Version of the Bible in English at 90 words. All right. So I need to do my imports. And did I happen to have the make vocab? I do. Excellent. From collections import counter, which is, I believe, a oh, I've done a mistake. Oh, that's right. I'm actually gonna do this. So the problem is that I changed my working directory, and then I made a actually, you know what? You know what would be better and gooder and just like more correct all around is if I used the absolute path and not the relative path. You know, that would have just saved me a lot of trouble from the get-go, and also it's the advice that I give other people, and also I did not do it. Good job, Rachel. All right. Except I have made Alright, so we're in Kaggle working. Let's see. I don't think it's is it? No, it's not. Okay. So if we're at root, what files do we have? Boot dev, Kaggle input. Hey, okay. Again, don't use relative paths. What are you doing, Rachel? Bad things. That's the answer. I'm doing things that maybe I should not do. All right, and we can get rid of this. And we can get rid of this because we found out what that is. We can get rid of this because I was just checking the syntax to see if I was a good, correct syntax doer or a bad syntax doer. File exists, preprocessed. If not, OS path exists. Okay, so why is that giving me an error? I understand that it is checking to make sure that the path doesn't exist. And then is there a difference in syntax between Python 2 and Python 3 with if statements? Error 17, file exists. Python if negative. Yeah, I do want to leave. Python if check negation. I'm looking for the logical negation here. The negation operator in Python is not, therefore you should just replace your bang with not. Okay, yes, that makes sense. If not, okay. Ryan says you are making a folder that already exists. You're checking for one folder and then making another. Yeah. Oh, is it because I didn't change both of them? I feel like this will still give the same error though. Read only file system Kaggle working preprocessed. It shouldn't be. I think that it is in the working directory that we can. Oh. Does it need a trailing trash? Trailing trash. End of line while stringing literal. Are my slashes the wrong direction? Do I need to escape them? That's never happened before. Let's just check just this little thing and see if it'll give me a boolean. Whoop. If that is false, then make the directory. Okay, that makes sense. I don't think we mixed up the logic. End of line while stringing literal. Oh, okay, that's because I have the trailing, and if I remove that, I still get read-only file system. Shed says, yes, they are the wrong directions. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, okay. So that must mean that the original code was written on Windows? Is that right? Is that the Windows direction? I can never remember. End of line. Oh. Hey, okay. So we're getting a different arrow, which is nice. We're getting a different error, which is nice. And Chad is like, reverse your slashes. Yes, thank you. There's a little bit of a delay between me and you, so it is not that I am ignoring you. It's that I haven't quite gotten your very good advice yet, and I am still very slightly in the past. 1 sec. Runny nose. I'm trying to mute before I make any gross sounds, though, that no one has to throw their computer out of the window. That would be good. All right. Okay. And then we got a read-only error. Read-only file system preprocessed / old Bible. Built-in open file name mode buffering. Oh. Yes. I see what the problem is. Okay, so this should be the whole shebang as well. Preprocessed. And then, will that work? All right, something definitely happened. Something took a little bit of time. And then if we change directory to root Kaggle working, and then we actually typed good, and then we changed our directory into our P-R-O-C-E-S-S-E-D. Typing out file names is the worst. And then, oh, how do you cat just the head in bash? Bash head file. Oh, it's head and then a space, I believe. Head space old Bible. Nope, that was not. If no files are given. Oh, I have to say how many I want. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, this is gonna be real long, and I'm sorry about that. Huh. Huh. Okay, well, that was not real long. So what we've managed to do is count the word Old Bible, one word, once. And that's all that's in that file right now. So, not ideal. Not ideal. Oh. That's right. Yeah. Okay, I know what the problem is. This time we should have more success. Except we didn't. Okay, we got a different error though, so that's good. That's progressed. So the error is that expected string or buffer when it did the regex.sub, and I believe, okay, oh, I see. So I think this is a series. Is it .d type? No. Yes. That wasn't helpful. Can I convert Python series to string? It's .toString. All right, so if I do this, nope, to str, there we go. Okay, different, nope, same error, expected string or buffer. Is this not a string once I've converted it to a string? All right, well, I'm gonna give myself a little to do because it's 5 o'clock now, and I've got my role-playing group meets at 6:30 and I have to have dinner before then. So I cannot go over today. I'll give myself a little to do there. Figure out why string not work. The converting to string doesn't make it a string. Wait. Good call. So Clockwork Consent says that I should actually treat it as a method and that will actually make it work. And when, like, invalid syntax. All right, what's in here? Do we make a file? We did make a file. Looks like it's still not going to let us do the head for some reason that I don't know what it is. All right, and if we cat the whole thing, it should be big now. Yay, it's big. Excellent. Fantastic. I don't know why there's a bunch of empty space at the end, but you can see that words like fall, ascending, hurt, assur, thron, that looks like maybe a typo, blessing. Excellent. So we have our vocabulary. Fantastic. I am very happy with that. Sorcerers. They only ever say sorcerers once in the King James Version of the Bible, so that seems like an oversight, honestly. Great. Okay, so I can actually take away that to do. Make new Bible vocab as well and point to it when we need vocab. All right, great. And Larson says, Assur is a name. That makes sense. And Shed says, can you commit so we can fork? I can indeed. And also, if you ever get this point where you're like, my commit button doesn't work, it's probably because you have clicked into the title. Let's commit that puppy. Excellent. So we made a vocabulary. We started figuring out everything that we're going to need to change. We did figure out that if you have a version of you define a class in your notebook and then you call a script that defines the same class, then the the one that's run most recently will be the one that is run, which I guess shouldn't have been a surprise to me, but for some reason was. And yeah, so we didn't actually get to training, but I feel maybe overly confident that I think we will get to training next week. Which honestly, 4 hours for getting a model up and running, I don't think is that much time, especially a type of model that I've never played with before. So I'm still feeling pretty good about this project, and I'm really looking forward to making something sound old-timey. Roland U2 says, not sure how to do it, but it would be cool in chat here on Twitch to put a link command to your kernel so you can see it, and you could add the command to your stream title. Link command to your kernel. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but I can post a link to the kernel. So you can't have multiple editors editing at the same time like you can in like a Google document in kernels. So you wouldn't be able to see like real-time coding. Oh, are you thinking like a macro where you can do like /link and get a link to whatever I'm looking at currently? That sounds very useful and hopefully something somebody else has built, because I don't think I have the web chops to do it. 500 error on that link. Let me try it again. Yeah. Huh. Okay. I guess I'll just give you the one to the exact version. It's open. Okay. Well, there's a link to the specific version. Roland U says, I can look it up. It may be a mod command or something for the channel, or using a bot. Yeah, that sounds like it would be useful and helpful. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen next week because I am doing this event on getting pipeline set up. And I have a pretty full plate, but yeah, good idea. Something we'll look into. All right, so I'm going to call it there because I do have to eat dinner and head out. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. This was a ton of fun. I feel like we have like really good momentum on this project right now, and I am excited. And I mean, like, in theory, this would be a general enough project that you'd be able to use it for pretty much any text-based style transfer within a language. I don't know, that sounds a little bit ambitious, but yeah. And I will be live streaming the pipeline stuff Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I'm not going to have the Kaggle reading group, at least on its usual time. I might move it to Monday, although I have a lot to do on Monday. We'll see. We'll see if we can squeeze in the reading group this week. Roland U says, I followed you now, didn't realize you were on Twitch. I attended a few of your Kaggle training things. Excited to keep checking it out. I have retweeted via Twitter. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Thanks for joining me, guys. I had a lot of fun today. I think I mentioned a couple times. And I'm looking forward to seeing you for the event next week or back next Friday. We're gonna make some more progress on this. Have a great weekend, you guys, and stay safe out there. Bye.